The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.
It's only week one, but we're going to jump into this game. This is going to be the Sunday game right here. We got Florida State, one of the Big Ragoose teams, and the SEC. I ain't going to even say LSU. SEC. My man Marty Bestside. We got Florida State.
I love it.
Versus LSU, man. Brian Kelly over here at LSU. We got Mike Norvell in his third year. I like Mike Norvell better than Jay Norvell. I think Jay Norvell is kind of a slickster. I don't know. But we got Mike Norvell coming over here. He had a decent season last year where he popped out and did a couple things they thought he couldn't do. But this year, he might have had these things together in his third year. So third year versus first year, Brian Kelly in this position right here. I'm going to let one of y'all take. Who want to take the
Give
mic?
it to Marley. Let the guests break it down.
Go for it, Marley.
All right, I'll take it.
Show them what to look for when you come over to Brothers and Bets.
Yeah. I got it. It's nothing. I'll save LSU for last. Let's look at Florida. I actually kind of like this Florida team. That's coach's team, by the way. This man has been in love with Florida State since I met them. Since I met him. I like what they got coming back. They got 8 on offense coming back. You're returning the quarterback, highly talented, Jordan Travis. You're pretty much bringing back the entire offensive line with the exception of your right tackle. So I'm loving that. You got to replace the receivers and running backs, and you're bringing back 7 on defense. Jordan, and on that defense, you got the South Carolina transfer, Jameis Robinson. He's going to be first team RAC. You got him coming in. You got defensive tackle, what's his name? Fabian Lovett coming in. So I do love that. Brian Kelly, to me, and Big Boss, we've talked about this a lot, man. I don't know how he's fitting in with that culture and how these kids are going to respond to him. That's the biggest thing to me right now going on in his first year at LSU. And I don't know. He's going to have talent, but he's only bringing back 3 on offense and 3 on defense. And I kind of like Florida State plus 3 points here, if you ask me. LSU wasn't that good last year, and I don't know if he can come around and turn it around that fast. I do believe in Brian Kelly as a coach, even though I'm not the biggest personal Brian Kelly fan, but everywhere the man has went, he's won. So the proof is in the pudding. Once he gets his system in and everything going, I think LSU will be in contention, but I don't think it's going to happen this season. Too much shit he got to turn around. It was fucking drama filled with LSU. They had a lot of shit going on, including with Coach O. He was like fucking girls and young wife and getting on the scene. Like, it was just too much shit going on. I don't think Brian Kelly had enough time to turn it around. I don't like that they only have 6 returning players coming back on offense. I like Florida State plus the 3 points. I just don't know. I really don't know because it's the new year with LSU, and I just like everything that Florida. Even though Florida State wasn't good themselves last year, 5-7 or 4-4 in the ACC, and we know how I feel about these conferences. But I do like Jordan Travis as a quarterback, so I do like what they have 8 returning on offense, and I do love they got the whole entire offensive line coming back with 7 returning on defense. So I like Florida State plus the 3 points here.
All right, I'm
gonna go second and leave it to our Florida.
My bad. I was trying to go so long if I was talking too long.
No, it's all good. So me on the other hand, I kind of, because I got a good hand for Kelly, so I kind of got a chance to break Kelly down and where he's at with this LSU. I was surprised because, like I said, I believe he don't got the toughness in him to do the things that they do in the SEC to get the type of players and what they do over there. He said in an article that it was always been his thing to get to a place where he can have the resources, basically the money, to do things in such fashion. So I kind of like I'm at whatever with that. But what I do like about what he's doing right here, and this is classic Kelly right here. So basically, I dissected what he was doing. What he's doing is he's taking the best senior player at a unit and then adding them with a couple transfers. So basically, in the linebackers, you got the best senior, returner, and a bunch of transfers. Same thing in the DB, best senior and the transfers, and he's done that up and down the only place that he has, which has always been his Achilles heel, I say, is the quarterback position. At the quarterback position, he has a three-way battle, and he's acting funny right now, talking about he's not going to announce who the starter is to game day. So I think he does have a plan. And if my man Marley taught me anything about the SEC, the type of players and talent, if you think Florida has the type of players and talent to beat Utah, then you should think that LSU has the type of players and talent that definitely should beat Florida State. And this one at home, only laying 3 is a bargain.
That's true. I do think LSU is the more talented team. Don't get me wrong, but I think that the most important position on the field is the quarterback, and Kelly doesn't have that yet in his system, so that concerns me. And then everything's new, that concerns me. And I like what Florida State is bringing back offensively. I'm not asking them to win. We all know, I'm asking them to cover the 3. I can see a tight game if LSU's defense comes to play. I think, but they only got 6 guys returning. And the like we talked about earlier, it's hard to gauge with the transfer portal. We don't know how those guys are going to come in and pick up the system. So, I do agree with that under though from Ron Crawford though.
Kelly's a kind of hands-on guy. He's in the player's face. Kelly might get out there and take a couple snaps sometimes with his elderly self, but I don't know if he shows those type of things at LSU. They may embrace him. So I don't know. I mean, coaching class and wise as well. If you want to go to coaching and preparation, first of all, Brian Kelly's going to run a tight ship. He's not going to let things get too far out of hand because he doesn't know exactly what he's working with. But he's a way better coach than Mike Gravel, so he has a huge coaching advantage in this game. And then he has a slight, I'm going to say slight, Marley will say big talent advantage as well. But I think he comes out with his first victory for LSU. They make a big old hoopla about Brian Kelly. I mean, this is one thing I wanted to say on the show that I was thinking earlier today, that you have a lot of teams or a lot of coaches that get new jobs and they benefit off of the recruiting that was already there. And then after that, they fall off, right? We have a lot of coaches come in first year, do really well with the old guys' players, but when his players supposed to develop in year 2 and 3, they start going on a decline. Kind of like it's a little bit what we got at Ohio State, but I ain't going to put that on Ohio State. But, they have been going, especially on defense, in a little bit of decline since that first year when Ryan Day first took over. Now it's starting to show, his true colors on that side of the ball. But I just wanted to make that a note to the show. But let's leave the last cap of the day to my man, Big Ragu. Send us home with what your pick over here on Florida State LSU.
So like you said, Kelly's supposedly a better coach than Norvell. No argument. He's got the better track record and whatnot. But they're both stepping up to big-name schools now. Now, who's got the advantage? I got to give it to Norvell because he's at the bigger name school per se. Right now, he's got more experience coaching. Even though I'm not saying Notre Dame's not a big name school because it's an awesome school. But I'm saying at the level, he progressed, definitely through the ranks. Kelly's got the, triple check marks on that one without question. I got a lot of respect for Norvell. What Norvell's really good at, and he's always been good at recruiting running backs. When he was at Memphis, Memphis has got some good running backs in the NFL, and he's got a few good ones right now that he's kind of put in place at Florida State. Florida State's problem from day one with him, and even when Willie Taggart was there, they never had an offensive line, period. I mean, that was a detriment of the team. If you look back, even a couple years back, even some of the games that Florida State tried to stay in, it was because of their defense. Without that, they would have been murdered. I mean, even going back to last year, a lot of games that they improved upon. The defense kind of held their own, and they kind of made way for the offense. To have opportunity to move forward. And the defense is good this year. Florida State's defense is back, and they'll be ready to play. And if LSU has an issue, it's definitely the offensive line for them. They're going to have major problems there. And that's what I see the big difference in this game is, even though they're getting points, if they were playing, I mean, this is a game in Baton Rouge at night. It's usually a tough place to play. It's like going into the swamp, any other place, big name school, that's one of the toughest places to play a night game is in Baton Rouge. But Florida State, if you look at what they did in the last game, that Duquesne game, a lot of guys are saying, well, they had 3 guys rush for 100 yards. Yeah, but that game was kind of like a preparation game for this game. I was more looking at the execution, which I was happy with that. Maybe not all the best looks on the field, but they did pretty well. This kid, Trayshawn Ward, you got to watch him. He's already been nominated for what they call a Doak Walker Award watch list, which is a top running back in the nation. So watch out for this kid. And then also the last time that they played was last year, right? FSU opened up against Kelly. They lost in overtime, a 3-point loss, 41-38. So this is not the first time that Kelly and Norvell have matched up. This is like the third time they're gonna see each other. But talent wise, they've got it all over the field. Like Marley was saying, Jordan Travis. I think with that improved offensive line they have, it's going to give him more time because he's one of the fastest guys in college football. He can dash, he can cut, he can throw, he can do it all. So if they give him more time, that's going to give him more opportunities to make plays down the field. And they bring in Johnny Wilson from Arizona State, the 6'7" kid. And what's the other kid that Polk Wilson? He's another guy. Look for some opportunities for him to score. So, but the question with the big question with the LSU is going to be the quarterback 1, quarterback 2 position. I don't know if we get Daniels, if we get Nussmeier, if we get Brennan. I mean, they still haven't announced that. So with the offensive line, I really don't think they really know what – I know Kelly knows what they're going to do, but there's a lot of confusion in the press and our side of the fence of what's going to happen. So I know this. All I know is what Florida State's going to do. I don't know what LSU is going to do. I think Florida State's going to show up. I'm not going to say they're going to walk away with a win. Just for an example, okay, so when Florida State – they had 4 losses last year by 3 points, and every one of those points, or they had 4 games that ended by 3, and all 4 of those games they covered, and they won 2 and they lost 2. But they were dogs against Miami by 2.5. They won by 3. They were getting 4 points at the Gators. They lost by 3. When they played Kelly last year, they were getting 4, I think, and they lost by 3. So, or 7. They lost by 3. They were getting 4, and they covered. Yeah. So basically, every time they get a 3 hung on them, it's money for them. So you know what? Give me the 3 points in Florida State.